This is the plaintiff, Ashley Ray. She says the defendant is her neighbor, and in the middle of filming a TikTok video, the defendant's dog attacked her dog. The whole thing's on video. The rude woman refuses to compensate her for all she and her dog have been through, and she's suing for the $2,000 she surely owed. This is the defendant, Tamika Klein. She says the plaintiff's dog was off leash for crying out loud, and this woman is suing her? Come on. The woman wasn't taking care of her dog. Her sister was filming a TikTok, and there's no way she's responsible for what happened. She's accused of having vicious propensities.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket, the plaintiff says that her sister was making a TikTok video when suddenly the defendant's pit bull viciously attacked her dog. But the defendant says that the plaintiff's dog was off leash and she wasn't caring for it. It's the case of a TikTok crock.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right. Ms. Ray, you are suing your neighbor, Ms. Klein, for $2,000 that you say she owes you because her dog attacked your dog. Tell me what happened.
So on March 14, I was at work and my sister and my mom called me telling me that Benji got attacked. So at the time, I work an hour away from my house and they're like, oh, Benji got attacked. He was bleeding out and everything. So I told my sister to take him to the doctor, the emergency room. So my sister, Tessina, she took him to the emergency room. When they got to the emergency room, they was waiting. My mom went to Tamika because she lived right next door to us, and my mom told her that she has to, her dog bit Benji. So she was like, oh, okay, I'm sorry about that. She told my mom she's gonna pay for everything. So when my sister got to the doctor, the hospital, the dog hospital, they said he won't be able to be seen until we get paid, which the bill was, I think, $894 if I'm not mistaken, and they say they need the money before they treat him. We called Tamika. Well, my mom called Tamika and she said she told her the amount the bill was. Tamika was like, oh, she don't have that money right now. The doctor, my sister was at the doctor, so my sister, she put the phone on speaker and the doctor spoke to Tamika and told her, because my mom had the phone on do-it. She spoke to Tamika and the doctor told her that we can't see the dog until we receive a payment. The doctor explained to them that they don't do payment plan. The other options would be applying for a loan. And so my mom tried to apply for the loan at first and it didn't get approved. So I told my mom that she has to ask Tamika to apply for the loan because her dog bit Benji. So Tamika tried to apply for the loan. She said she wasn't approved because she has student loans, so she wasn't approved. So because they've been at the doctor they was at the doctor from 4 to 7.
Oh.
From 4
you
to
would think that at some point the doctor would just say that poor dog is in pain, let me. All right, but what happened though? Who then paid for the doctor bill for the dog to be seen?
So what happened was I got off work, and as soon as I got off work, I went to the doctor. Once I got there, they told me that the only thing they will do right now is if we pay half and then pay the other half the next day. Because the doctor was trying to.
Is that what you did?
Yeah, so I called Tamika and I told Tamika, well, if you pay half now, they'll see him. So she sent me $465 on Cash App.
Okay.
Then I paid the amount. I sent her a picture of the bill, so she'll have the receipt. That was that. They treated Benji. They wrapped his mouth in a tape, and they also.
What did they end up doing to Benji?
Oh, they did his X-ray. They put the bandage on his mouth because his jaw was fractured because her dog bit Benji, and they also give me medication. So they had like a lot of medication that I had to like.
What kind of a dog is Benji?
Day. He's a mini golden doodle.
And what kind of a dog do you have, Ms. Klein?
I have a pit bull.
Of course you do. What happened? Were you, I know she wasn't there. Were you there, Ms. Klein?
No.
Neither one of you
I
were.
wasn't.
What, according to you, what happened?
Okay, I was in the house. My kids walk my dog every day at the same time at 3:30.
How old are your kids?
17 and 10. We never had an issue before with them walking the dog. From my understanding, when they were coming back up the walkway with the dog, my
Now,
son
this one,
tripped
just so I understand, this is a walkway to an apartment building?
into a complex.
Into a
It's 6
complex. And
buildings.
you two are neighbors
Yeah.
in that complex?
Yes.
Okay, so go on, Ms. Klein.
So, from my understanding, like I said, when my kids came running upstairs and said that, my son had tripped and dropped the leash.
Which
at
son?
the same time. My son is 10-year-old. He had tripped and dropped the leash as they were coming back into the house. Ashley's sister was outside in the courtyard with her dog, making TikTok videos. My kids came running in the house with the dog and told me that my son tripped and the dog took off.
Yeah,
and
I think the
seen
dog
Ashley's
took off,
dog.
and that's why your son tripped, but probably because the dog took off after her dog, right?
Well,
Yes.
no, they that I don't know. They were coming up the walkway, and from my understanding, the dog was in the courtyard running around.
Can I say something? So Tessina was outside before her kids was outside. So they wasn't outside walking the dog. They was coming outside their building. That's what it was. They wasn't.
Well, I don't know.
outside
You actually
walking-
have a video of what happened, right?
Yes, I have a video.
Because your sister was making TikTok videos.
Yes, because she was playing with the dog, and this is not the first
Okay,
time.
but where
their
was your
dog
sister
attacked.
making TikTok videos?
She was making the videos right in front of our building.
When you
Our
say our building, it's not your building, it's not your property, it's the communal
No.
building. And your dog was off leash too, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, let's see what happens. Oh, what a cute dog. Ugh, poor Benji. Did you see what happened in that video? Your dog runs into the path of the approaching pit bull because your dog's off a leash too. And the pit bull's clearly off a leash. Ms. Klein, what's your position?
My position is I paid. Only thing I had asked Ashley and her mom was for the bills. That night that it happened, her mom came upstairs and said that they were taking the dog to the vet in the morning. I said, okay, no problem. Let me know what happens. Bring me the bills and we could go from there. After that conversation, they continued to call my phone throughout the night and saying that I had to apply for these loans so the dog could be seen. I said, well, I can't afford. I was not even that I can't afford. I said, okay, send me the link. That's when the veterinarian sent me my phone the link to apply for the loan for this dog to be seen. In the process, I'm calling around, making phone calls to at least get up some money so I can give her, because they called and said they weren't doing nothing for the dog. They wasn't treating the dog. I said, okay, well, give me a minute. Let me see if I can reach out and receive some type of money so I could give you something so the dog can be treated. I came up with $465. I automatically cashed that to her, the $465. She said, okay, no problem. Then the next morning, I get the phone call that she took the dog to a different vet, I guess a specialist, and they said that Benji didn't need surgery, that there wasn't nothing wrong with the dog's jaw, that it just was a puncture wound. And I guess that bill was $175. So she sent me the bill after she paid it through text message. I said, okay, well, I need the physical bills. The first screenshot
But didn't she text you the bills? Didn't you see the bills already?
No. When the first night that the dog was seen, she sent me an estimated bill.
Why didn't you just text her the bill, Ms. Ray?
I texted her the bill. When I was taking Benji to the doctor, they was calling me, asking me for me to pay the remaining balance because they don't do payment plans. They don't.
Can you listen to my question? Did you ever get a bill from the doctor for the other $440?
Yes. After
When did you get the bill from the doctor for the other $440?
I paid it like 2 weeks ago. So that's when I
Did you
gave her the
submit that
full
into
bill.
evidence?
Yes.
Okay, give me 1 second and don't talk, please.
Okay.
Here's the bill.
Yes.
It's $894.52. So is the amount you paid the $462.52, Ms. Klein?
No, I sent her $465.
Gotcha.
That night, she only gave them the $432.
I got that. All right. So where is the future care, the $1,395.48 of future care? How are you coming up with that figure, and what proof do you have of that?
So that one, because he has to keep going to the vet to get his mouth checked, because this happened recently. They told me that they wasn't able to see what if he needed surgery or not until after they take off the bandages off his mouth.
Okay, but why did you sue so fast if you don't know what your damages are yet? Because
she
it's
told
speculative.
me to go to court.
Yeah, I saw
yeah.
that. I saw the
That's the
nasty
only
text. Let me
reason-
understand
Yes.
these texts. I see that. So she tells you to go to court, and you say much obliged. Let's see.
That's why I went to court,
Yeah,
because I wasn't
seriously.
going to go to court.
Hi, good morning. Are you paying the $640 today? And also, Benji has his doctor appointment next week. Good morning. You have not produced the medical bills in my hand. My mom says she gave you the first 2 bills for the remaining payment. It's still not paid yet. Once you send the money, I will pay it and give you that bill. And your answer is call a lawyer. Why would your answer be that when it's your neighbor and you're trying to come to a resolution?
They are calling my phone all during the day. I work from 10 o'clock in the morning until 6:30 in the afternoon. I had to put conferences on hold because they were calling me during the middle of my conference. I would text
No, you don't.
her
You
and
could just
say,
ignore the
"Hey."
call in the middle of your conference. And she
Yes,
says,
and I
okay,
said,
love,
"Hey,
see you
I'm
in
at
court.
work."
And we also have a video of your dog attacking my dog. And you ask, quick question, what happened to you paying the bill? And the answer is ask your questions in court. Yeah, this is what we call the anatomy of a lawsuit. This is the very moment when litigation is born, is conceived. This is the conception. When you tell someone whose little dog has been bit by your pit bull, go call a lawyer, they're gonna go to court. And then we're gonna find ourselves here, right? Instead, what should be happening is you two neighbors should be working together to find a resolution that fits everybody's situation. You're telling her to go get a lawyer. What do you think she's going to do? She just ran to court and filed a lawsuit against you. She took your advice. Now, you, Ms. Ray, what evidence do you have that there is $1,395.48 worth of bills in future care? Do you have anything from a doctor saying that's what it's going to cost? No, because you precipitously ran to court when your neighbor said that. Instead of waiting for Benji's care to be done and figuring out whether or not Benji's going to need surgery or not need surgery, you ran to court with just 2 things in front of you, $894.52 and $175 of a second hospital visit. So here's what I am going to do. I have a bill for $894.52, a bill for $175. That makes $1,069.52. I find that you are each responsible for half of Benji's bills because both of your dogs were off leash, not just the pit bull. Your sister was taping the dog running around in a communal area with no fence. And that makes her meaning the person who you entrusted with your dog, half responsible. That makes your side half responsible. So I find that each of you so far for Benji's care are responsible for $534.76. $465 has already been paid. That means that at this point, the defendant owes the plaintiff an additional $69.76. Regarding Benji's future care, I am dismissing that without prejudice for you to raise it again when Benji's future care is actually expended, when we actually know what it is. Because right now, we don't know if it's surgery. We don't know if it's just a few bandage changes. I can't just guesstimate what that's going to be in order for her to pay it. So as far as that part is concerned, I am doing you the favor of dismissing it without prejudice for you to be able to bring it up in the future again, once you know what those bills are. That's how I'm handling the case. And as we sit here, I want you all to know that I find that both sides are responsible for 50% of Benji's bills because both dogs were off leash. Everybody get it? Everybody understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because you're not allowed to have your dog off leash either. That's partially why this happened. If your dog had been on a leash, then this wouldn't have happened because your sister would have seen the dog and picked the dog up.
Right.
You know, we don't punish the dogs. You understand that, right? We punish the behavior of the humans who are in charge of the dogs. That's what we do. All right. $69.76, verdict for the plaintiff, dismissing without prejudice future care. If additional bills come up, you have the ability to go to court and sue for half of those. All right, because my ruling on the issue of culpability, that it's 50-50, that stands. Okay, good luck, folks.
Thank you.
So, in a surprise to the plaintiff, I am sure she is responsible for half the cost of Benji's care at the vet. So, in any event, the defendant now has to give her $69. Let's see what Ms. Klein feels about that. Ms. Klein, you have to give her $69, but also suppose Benji needs more care, surgery, or something else. Will you contribute to that? You'll be responsible for half of that as well, right?
Yes, I will. I have no issues with doing that at all.
Well, that's the judge's verdict, so you will abide by that. Okay, good luck. Good for you. Keep your dog on a leash, especially a pit bull. Ms. Ray, what are you thinking about right now? What's your reaction to the judge's verdict?
Once he go back to the doctor to get his surgery, I will be bringing her back to court. And she needs to keep her dog on the leash because she has a vicious dog. And this is not the first attack.
All right. Well, listen, you both, unfortunately, you both have to keep your dogs on a leash. Hate to see a video like we saw where Benji was about to be attacked. That's scary stuff. Right. By the way, how is Benji right now? How's he doing?
He's okay. He's still healing.
He's healing? But is he going to be okay,
Yes.
you think?
Yes, I just have to keep bringing him to the doctor so that they could check his jaw out.
All right. You take care of it, okay?
Okay, Doug, so this is a case involving the leash law. And when you don't have your dog on a leash and there is a dog fight, you are going to be responsible. The question is the other person too. There are two ways that other person can be responsible. One is if they don't have control of the dog, if the leash is too long and they're just letting it fly around. The second, obviously, is if they don't have their dog on a leash. That's the case here. Both of them were letting their dogs go without being on leashes. Both violated the leash law. Both are negligent. They're equally negligent. And that's why you award the person with the damages only 50%. And if both have damages, each get 50% of their own loss.
More and more adoption records are being opened for adoptees to find their birth parents. I had my two beautiful daughters via AID, artificial insemination by a donor. My younger daughter has come into contact with many of her half-siblings, but we can get no help from the sperm bank. Is there any legal way to access said records? Wow.
Really, this is going to be governed most likely by contractual relationships. First of all, the sperm donor has a contractual relationship with the service that he worked with that probably says that he gets absolute anonymity, that under no circumstances are they going to reveal it. Then there's probably a contract between the person who received the sperm for the insemination that says you agree you will never be try to find out who it was, right. and if you do, you owe us $20,000, you owe us all the money, you forfeit all of that, and who knows what else. And we reserve the right to seek injunctive relief from a court to keep you from finding out, et cetera, because they're going to go out of business.
I mean,
if their people want to be anonymous.
Right, exactly.
If their people want to be anonymous. Now, it used to be that everyone was anonymous. Now, I think something like half of the donation services in the country will reveal by contract or have agreements with their donors that it's becoming more common that you can find out.
It's got to still be, though, controlled by whatever contract everyone signs back then.
Sure.
I'm confident it's just like you say, that there's...
Pretty unlikely you're ever going to get a court order that's going to somehow circumvent these contractual relationships.
No.